Hello and welcome to session 2 of the Global Sources Virtual Summit. I'm your host, Meghla Bhardwaj, and in this session, we've got two amazing presentations. You don't want to miss this session. We've got Tomer, who's going to be talking about how to create a 6-star experience for your customers, and we've got Sharon Evan, who's going to be talking about product research trends in 2022. You don't want to miss these two presentations. Also, stay until the end because we are going to be giving away 4 prizes to people who are attending live. And I also want to remind you that you should register for the summit if you have not done that already. You can see the URL scrolling at the bottom of the screen, globalsources.com/summit. Register there for receiving reminders when we go live and also to receive all of the slides of all of the speakers. So if you're not registered, go ahead and do that. You'll also be able to join our Telegram group, which is a really good way to engage with other attendees and also get information, from the speakers and also just to share insights and information. I also want to thank our sponsors, Amazon Social and Gemba. They have partnered with Global Sources Summit. They are our sponsors. And I want to share 2 videos that about our sponsors. So let's take a look at these videos and then we'll go to our presentation. AmazonSocial.com. If you are looking for a company to manage your e-commerce brands, Amazon Social Media, Amazon Social is the company to go for. And they are also going to be giving away a mega prize at the end of the last session of Global Sources Virtual Summit. They're giving away a free package worth $1,000 for 1 month. So you should join the last Global Sources session for sure. Okay, let's take a look at the second video. This is Gemba, one of our other sponsors. So Gemba has a special offer for all of the Global Sources Virtual Summit attendees. If you do want to use their services, go to gemba.com and use the code GlobalSources10 for 10% off of all of their services. They help importers develop products and source products from China and other countries in Asia. Do check them out for sure. All right, so I'm going to invite my guest now. I have Tomer Rabinovich with me. Hi, Tomer. How are you doing?
Very good, Meghla. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. Super excited about your presentation. Like, we've heard of 5-star experiences and 5-star reviews on Amazon, but hey, why 6-star? That should be quite interesting. And before Tomer gets started, everybody watching, let me know where you're joining us from and if you're already selling on Amazon or on in e-commerce. So if you're already selling, type in yes, followed by the city where you're joining us from. And if you're not selling, type in no, followed by the city where you're joining us from. So go ahead and do that. And in the meantime, we'll get started with Tomer's presentation. So Tomer, go ahead. The floor is yours. Go ahead and share your screen and let's get started.
Perfect. Okay, here we go, everyone. So today we're talking about a 6-star experience. And before we jump right in, a bit about myself. So I've been selling on Amazon since 2015, running multiple brands on Amazon on what I call almost autopilot at this stage. So I have a team in the Philippines taking care of everything. And this is kind of what I've been teaching other sellers for the past few years. I've done a lot of one-on-one consulting with sellers, probably over 700 sellers at this point. These are mainly free one-on-one calls that I've done over the years. I don't do them that often anymore, but I do them once in a while. I also have my own mastermind where I trained over 200 sellers, mostly 7-8 figure sellers, on taking their business to the next level, or exiting if that's what they want to do. I've been working closely with a few of the aggregators in the space, such as Elevate Brands and Branded. And I also have my own event called Top Dog Summit. Happened 3 years in a row in Israel, within the next one in Bulgaria, Q1 next year. I've also been speaking at many different events, including this one. Finally, I was excited about this one. So this is everything I'm going to show today is not just about my own experience as a seller on Amazon. This is what I've been teaching sellers. This is what I've been teaching aggregators to do to get organic 5-star reviews for their own brands as well. So I don't want to waste any more time talking about myself. So let's just get going. So 6 stars. What is 6 stars? So when you think about getting 5-star reviews, I believe that just aiming for 5 stars won't get you there. You need to aim for 6 stars, kind of like shooting for the stars and hitting the moon. This is kind of what we are trying to do. We are trying to get to a 6-star experience to land at 5-star reviews on Amazon. So there are basically 6 points to this. Okay, I'm going to cover each of them in detail, but the last point is the most important one. Okay, so the first point we're going to cover is, does the product do what it's actually supposed to do? Is it clear how to use the product? Is your product better and or directed towards one customer or a single use? Don't worry, I'll explain this. Would you leave a 5-star review for your own product? Are you providing top customer service? And finally, again, the 6th point is the most important one: surprise and over deliver. Now, you need to have all 6 of these to create a great experience for your customers. And if you don't get the first 5 right, it doesn't matter what you do in the 6th one, it's just not going to help you out. So let me go one by one and check these off. So does your product do what it's actually supposed to do? So first, I want you all to kind of remember that anything that is below 5 stars hurts your rating, right? We don't like having 4 stars or 3 stars or any stars that are not 5, because everything pulls us down towards 4. You do not want to launch products that don't work for everyone. What I mean by that is you kind of want to launch bulletproof products. Now, obviously, each product has its own difficulties, but when it's a matter of, let's say, taste, or when it's a matter of doesn't work the same way for everyone, and people are going to get like annoyed by the product doesn't really function right, you're going to get in trouble. And do not launch a product that where the star rating is kind of difficult to maintain. That's going to be difficult to keep it like at least 4.5 star rating. And also you're going to not be able probably to sell that business that easily at the end if that's what your goal is. So this is a product that was found by one of my students in the mastermind. And it's a great product. Like if you look at the numbers, this is like a rejuvenation face and neck mask that is electronic, right? It's like an expensive product selling for over $100. You can see the numbers are really good, but when you look at the star rating, it's pretty low, because you can assume that this product is not going to work the same way for everyone. And when he asked me what I think about this, I told him, look, when you launch a new product, you want to think it's going to sustain itself for at least 3-4 years. Now, I think selling this is going to be difficult to maintain for 3-4 years. And if you want to sell that business, that needs to maintain itself for another 3-4-5 years, right? So when I think about going into a new product, I won't launch anything unless it actually does what it's supposed to do, right? This is also true when you get a sample from your factory in China. If the sample is not good enough, just don't launch that product, right? The sample is probably the best version you're going to get anyway. Is it clear how to use your product, right? That's the next point. So when you think about instructions, tutorial videos, whatever it takes, you have to educate your customer on how to use your product correctly, because if you don't, no one has patience anymore, especially during COVID. Everyone is losing their patience. So your product needs to work either right out of the box. One example I can give, I was in China in Canton Fair, and I ordered like 30 baby monitors to my hotel room, and I tested each and every one of them. Some came with an app, some didn't. And the one I ended up launching on Amazon is the one that works on radio waves. You just plug it in and it works. And that's the one I chose to go with, because everything else was just too cringy. It didn't really work as it should. So please make sure that your product is actually easy to use or simple to understand how to use it. And if it's not, fix that issue, because otherwise you're going to get a lot of negative reviews. Is your product better and or directed towards one customer or a single use. And with this, I will also say this is kind of related to product research almost, but I believe that Amazon will never become saturated, okay? Or e-commerce in general, we can say. Because I believe that wherever there's demand, saturation, there's opportunity. Now, if you think about the Ford car, right? The Ford car was like the first real car that people could buy, and you only had a black model. That was the only thing you had. Now, because demand grew, then you had like family cars, and you had like small cars, and you had sports cars, and you had these trucks, and you had these weird looking delivery trucks, and you had cars for special events, or like crazy cars for crazy people, right? So you had all of these different things because the demand grew. So when demand grows, there is opportunity in small niches. So with this, I just want to tell you that don't just limit your thinking to, I have to improve my product, right? Gemba, one of the sponsors, is great at improving the product, but sometimes all you really need to do is just select one target audience, one niche audience in a saturated market, and just sell for that one audience. You don't necessarily need to improve the product, you just change your positioning around that product, and that's all you really do. Would you leave a 5-star review for your own product? Okay, that's the third point. So would you, like, if I would force your hand right now, would you leave a 5-star review? And that's kind of maybe a difficult question to answer, but what I will say is, if you would buy your own product on Amazon, would you tell anyone about your recent purchase? Would you share something that happened with that product when you opened the packaging, when you used the product, some sort of an experience you had with it? If the answer is no, that's what you're trying to create. Okay, you're trying to create something that will get people talking about your product. And this is really taking me to the next point, which is customer service versus customer experience. People confuse these all the time. Okay, so let me try to explain this with an example. But first, you need to understand that customer service is reactive. You're basically reacting to what your customers are telling you, which is usually negative. You don't get emails from customers, oh, I love your product, thank you so much. That usually doesn't happen. You get like, it got tornado damage, or something terrible happened, or whatever it may be. You might get some good engagements from social media and other places, but you have to be present there for that to work. Customer experience, on the other hand, is proactive. You do things before customer service happens. So there are 2 quotes I want to share with you that really explain customer experience really well compared to customer service. So the first one is, customer service starts when the customer experience fails. Okay, so you really want to do everything you can to avoid negative customer experience, or even doing customer service, right, in the first place. And the second quote is, the best customer service is if the customer doesn't need to call you, doesn't need to talk to you, it just works, right? And this was said by Jeff Bezos, who we all know and love, right? So I hope you kind of understand it. And if you want to see an example, this is a good example of a Sephora store. And what they've done is they basically have these 2 sets of baskets. The red one says, I would like to be assisted. And the black one says, I would like to shop on my own. Now, they probably did this because they had a lot of customers coming in and like employees offering help, and they were just said, no, and maybe walked out of the store. And by doing this, they're just avoiding negative customer service, right? If someone wants to be assisted, they might just take the black one and ask for help whenever they need. That's probably what I would do. But others might go in and maybe they want to shop for a gift, right? For their wife or for their spouse or whatever it may be. And they would pick up the red one. So I think this is a great example of kind of how you use customer experience to avoid customer service in the first place. So let's look at an example from Amazon directly. Okay, so this is a product, just a random product, okay, that does around 100K a month in sales. This is from Helium 10, and you can see that you have some reviews here, and you can see that he changed the reviews, right? By offering a replacement. They offered to replace it or give me a refund of your request. Excellent customer service. And you can see this is a 4-star review. So this buyer basically came in and updated the review according to the customer service they received. And you see this over and over again with this seller, and they're really good at doing this. Now, in Seller Central right now, we have this function where we can basically talk to the customer or basically offer a courtesy refund. Now, I can tell you after testing this many times, what you want to do is you don't want to do the refund. You want to do the review. You want to do like customer review. You want to check what's wrong. You don't want to refund someone before they know what you're doing, because they might not even see that you refunded them. So you want to communicate with them first. And depending on the review, you want to provide 2 of these 3 options: so refund, replacement, or a different free product. Now, what I will say is that you don't have to be this stiff with whatever way you answer them. If you look at companies like Lego or Frank Body, or I don't remember more names right now, but there are so many companies that are very playful in how they respond to customers. And that's what you want to do. You don't just want to come out and say, do you want a refund or replacement? And that's it. You don't want to be so professional about your approach. You want to talk to the person on the other side, who is your customer, in their language. And again, if you look at Frank Body, you will see what I'm talking about. And you want to try and mix it up. Okay, that's kind of the point on delivering top customer service. So again, I mentioned all of these different points. So I mentioned the first 5, and now I really want to take the rest of my time to really focus on surprise and over deliver, because I believe that this is the low-hanging fruit. This is the real differentiator. Like, creating a unique experience for a customer is not that easily copied by competitors. So this is what really sets you apart from others. So let's talk about this. So there are different ways you can surprise and over deliver. So you can use unique packaging, okay, with your product. You can use your inserts with a warranty, a free gift, a VIP club. You can add character to your brand. You can have a surprise gift with the product, so they open it up and they see something they didn't expect on your listing or on your website. You do something after they bought your product, like send them something else in the mail. And obviously you can offer like an overall customer experience to them. So you want to create an experience from beginning to end. Like, every touch point you have with your customer is important. Every single one is an opportunity to create something unique to your customer on the other side. So it doesn't matter if it's the packaging, if they look inside, if they study the product when they opt into your insert, when they store your product. Every single touch point you have with your customer is an opportunity to touch them with a unique experience. And I said this just now. Okay, so to do this, what I want you to do is I want you to change your mindset. I want you to kind of think outside the box. So when you think about the word professional, I think too many of us, too many sellers, especially beginners, think they need to be professional, think they need to answer in a professional way, in a certain way. The packaging, product, everything needs to function, everything needs to work, and that's it. So your brand is basically kind of flat. I think professional is just another word for boring. Now, let me show you a few examples, okay, of this, and then we can kind of take it into products, and I can even show you my examples and many different things. So when you look at this sign, sorry for the bad quality here, but it says high-speed trains pass this platform, keep back from the platform edge behind the yellow line. Now, this is like a generic sign that says stand behind the yellow line. But if you look at this one, this says stay off the tracks. They are only for trains. If you can read this, you're not a train, right? So the one on the right basically went viral. Clearly, we understand why. Now, the effect is the same. I don't think anyone is going to think the right one is just humorous and it's not serious. Like, it's clearly serious, but it doesn't have to be that stiff and that professional looking to do its job. I don't think many people even read the one on the left, right? Another example is LinkedIn. We all, like, a lot of us are using LinkedIn, and look at this guy. This guy just said, dear LinkedIn, I had to go to redesign your logo for Halloween. Feel free to use it Sunday. If you want yours, Jazz. Now, I just saw this and I just put it today, like in the presentation. This was published 2 weeks ago, okay, right before Halloween. Now, you see a lot of different comments on this post, and we can all agree LinkedIn is a super professional space, and this is like should be very stiff, very serious, right? Now, these are all the comments, so it's great, and he kind of commented on everyone, love this, we're creative, great. And look at what LinkedIn did. LinkedIn did this and said, I'd like to add you to my professional covenant, and they put like his main profile picture with like this Halloween hat that he created, right? They basically put the hat he created, and they got like 13,000 likes. And everyone was laughing about this reaction from LinkedIn. And this obviously went viral, and this is kind of how I saw it myself. But this is kind of the point. You need to allow yourself and your employees to play, to do these type of things that are more fun and engaging. And this made me kind of feel differently about LinkedIn all of a sudden, right? Made me love them even more. Another example. So let's talk a bit about products. So when we think about products, this is Warby Parker, who is a great eyeglass company. And when you open their case, it says, "Nice to see you," on the inside. And they are also attaching this very nice cloth to clean your glasses with. And they use this as their insert, which is super clever. And they're basically telling their story in 100 words. And they basically number every single word to make sure they like tell it in 100 words. And at the end of the bottom right, it says, "Thank you for reading Warby Parker in 100 words. You just read the entire history in less time than it takes to wash a dish, clean a smudge off your glasses, or consume 6 baby carrots at a responsible chewing pace. Not bad. 100 words goes by pretty fast. If you want more words, please visit warbyparker.com." And then it says, "Not counting this paragraph." So I love this idea of having something for the, like, maybe they don't read this as they open the glasses, right? Like a lot of the inserts that we have in our products, we just throw them out and don't take the time to read them. But maybe they sit down in the doctor's office and just clean their glasses and then say, "Oh, what is this?" And then they read it, right? But again, this feels honest and true, and you can kind of resonate with the brand a lot more. And you feel like more confident with your purchase when you see these type of things. Another example is Organifi. So Organifi, when you open their packaging, this is not even on Amazon. This is when you buy like on their website. This is what you will get. So it says open box. In bracket, it says "Great job, by the way." And by the way is BTW. And it says like a small check mark on the left. And it says, "Make your first delicious drink." And then it says, "Find one thing you're grateful for today." In brackets, it says, "Besides your Organifi." And when you look on the inside of the packaging, when you take whatever is inside, on the bottom of it, it says, "Your future self is thanking you already." And I think this is such a clever idea. And I don't know if you checked, but printing on the inside of your packaging costs close to nothing. Okay. And this is really coming down to, like, again, surprising, over-delivering, even putting a smile on your customer face goes such a long way. You have no idea. Like, let's say I bought this and I had the wrong item inside. Because I had some value from the company already, I might reach out to them. I will feel more confident reaching out to them to fix my issue than if they had nothing, So over-deliver and surprise is all about giving more value than what you were paid for, basically. Because if I bought this on the website, let's say for $20, I paid $20 and I got something else, right? Some value outside of what I paid. So I kind of feel obligated to take the extra step for the company, which is either, I don't know, having an issue and reaching out to them before leaving a 1-star review, or leaving a 5-star review when they ask me to. Another great company is Away. Away Travel. I talk about them a lot. I love this company. I just bought some luggage from them. And when you open it up, when you open their trolley case, it says, "Meet the smallest Away suitcase." It's kind of a big deal. So again, they're just being super playful and very fun. And if you check their Instagram or Facebook or whatever it may be, they're just very, very good at what they do. Fish crackers. We all know fish crackers. So fish crackers, I don't know if you know, but if you look closely, each fish has like a small smiley, and they're all smiling. They have like a small eye and a small smiley with them. And when you look at the ingredients, it says "made with smiles," right? That's like the first ingredient. Now, this went viral. Like, I said this in like facts you don't know, right? This is how I found this example. And trust me, if you do these type of things that no one kind of dares to do, this is your brand. You can do whatever you want, right? As long as it's obviously legal and it's safe and you're not, you're within TOS and within guidelines, you can do pretty much anything you want. So don't be so stiff in your approach when you're designing your inserts, your packaging, how you communicate with your customers, everything about the experience. Every single opportunity, every single touch point is an opportunity to create something unique. So this is a product I wanted to sell. Okay, this was my idea. I couldn't sell this because in 2016, this went on the prohibited product lists. as a lock picking set. So this is like a lock picking set for beginners to kind of learn how to pick a lock. It makes sense. Amazon will put it on their prohibited product list, but I was already in production. I paid the deposit to the supplier. We're in production for this product. So I had everything kind of figured out, but we couldn't launch it. So let me show you what our plan was with this. So when you look at lockpicking sets, this is usually what they look like on Amazon when you buy them. So either like a brown box or even a color box, but it's kind of boring. You have the tools, you have the lock and the keys, and you kind of need to have instructions, and that's great. My idea was, what if we create like a safety deposit box that is black all around so no one knows what's inside, right? Now, when you think about retail, in retail, you cannot really do this. You have to tell them what the product is. But when we sell in e-commerce, we can pretty much do anything we want. Like, they don't see this. Maybe you even show this on your listing, but you don't have to play by the rules of retail. So my idea was make it black all around and only on the bottom have some text like made in China, have all the tools out there, have some more text that I've kind of removed from here to prove the point. And the idea was that they will open it up from the lock side. Okay, so they open up the packaging, and when they open it up, it will say, "Congrats, you've just picked your first lock." And I think we can all agree that by doing this overall experience, like the unique packaging, they don't know what it is. Maybe they buy stuff on Amazon every single day and don't remember what they ordered. They don't even know what to expect here. They open it up and it puts a smile on their face immediately. Again, this helps a lot with negative reviews. And who do you think will leave more 5-star reviews? Like this one, and it's exactly, let's say it's exactly the same tool set, right? But who would they leave a review for? This one or the one on the left? And who would they buy their product as a gift to someone else in Q4, right? So this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to create an overall experience for them. There is another thing that people think, that if you have 5,000, 10,000 reviews, then reviews are not that important anymore. They think that ranking is basically more important than reviews. What I can say, after testing this many, many different times, and after looking at many different listings and accounts and launching many different products, I can say that if you get 5-star reviews consistently, you will get ranked by Amazon. And that makes sense. So for every 100 sales you make, you want to check how many 5-star reviews you can actually get. So if you just analyze competitors, you can kind of see how many reviews they got in the last 30 days. You can see how many sales they got in the last 30 days. You divide the reviews by the number of sales, and that gives you a percentage. That percentage is what I call review percentage. That means that if it's 5%, for every 100 sales, they got 5 reviews. So if that's the case, you just want, and every product is different. Like if you sell diaper bags, that will probably have a higher review rate than disposable cups, right? That no one really leaves a review for because no one really cares about that product. So you can check and you can find products this way very easily that get a very high review rate, and then you can analyze what it is that they do. So let me show you one example, and this is going to be the last thing I'm going to show you here. So this is an insert example, okay? So this product, I found it in exactly this way. I saw that they're getting a very high review rate. They have 11,000 reviews, 4-star product, making over 260K a month in sales across 3 variations, right? So all 3 combined are making about $260,000 in sales. And what I like to do, I don't need to buy their product. You don't necessarily need to buy the product to figure out what they're doing. I just go to their images, okay? I just go to the reviews, see the most common phrases being used, and then I just go to the images to see if I can spot an insert, if I can spot the packaging, if they write anything on it. And I spotted this picture. This is like a picture from the reviews. And it says on top, happy and want 4 tips for free. Those tips are basically like those nasal tips to replace, like you will probably need to replace them at some point. And then on the bottom, it says visit. And they have this website, like their brandname.com/nasal. And it says, and answer 4 questions there. Then you will receive 4 replacement tips for free. Now, I did that. I went on the website and I just wanted to see what it is that they're doing, right? So I saw like get 4 nasal aspirator replacement tips for free. And this is terrible. This is a Google form, right? This is not how you want to do it. But I think the insert is great. The insert is amazing, but this follow-up is not that great, like how they execute. But let's go ahead and read this out. So They ask for your email address, first name, last name, how do you like the product? Please send your Amazon order ID to info at, like, I don't know why they ask for the order ID to be emailed, but anyway, they ask you to email their order ID, and then you click submit. Now, the next window is going to be, if you're happy with the product and our customer service, could you please log into your Amazon account to leave us a 5-star product review now? Please log in your Amazon account and find your order, and then write a product review, not seller feedback. So we can all agree this is completely validating TOS, right? This is the wrong way to do it. And it has a case I posted, oh no, I have trouble with the product. And again, this sends you to like talk to them or email them or whatever it may be. And if Amazon like sees this, they're gonna like close the listing or have issues with the seller, right? And the reason I say, and I even saw this, like I thought to myself, if I would have bought this after the replacements, I would have got pissed by seeing this, right? So I actually went into the reviews and I typed the word free. If you go to see all of the reviews on the listing, you have a search bar there and you can type anything you want. So I typed the word free to see if they mention anything about this. And I saw 40 reviews out of 11,000. That's not that many, right? A lot of them were happy to leave a 5-star review to get those free tips, but 40 left a review. And most of them were like, the first one says, I've ordered hundreds of items from Amazon. This is the first review I've ever done and only item I've ever returned. And they say, like, the last sentence is, the only reason there are good reviews is because the company will give you another one for free if you give a 5-star review. So this is not the way to do this, right? This is not the right way. So what is the right way, right? But again, the insert is great. So let's just talk about the good and the bad about this insert here. So I think the good about it is that they're offering only one thing, right? They're offering free replacement tips, which is great. This works really well. So we noticed that the best things that work are either our warranty, VIP Club is just okay, it's decent, it's not that great. Warranty works great for anything electronic. For this, a warranty will work well as well. And a free product is working really well, as long as you clarify what it is. As long as you don't say it's a free gift or a free random thing, it will work a lot better than just saying, you want to be clear on what you're getting. Next, it's very short and clear messaging, right? It's a legitimate link. What I mean by that, you don't want to either buy a domain like for replacement tips or fortips.com or something random like that. You don't want to do that. You want to have the brand name .com/tips or /nasal like they did here. Or if it's a warranty, you want to do /warranty. That works a lot better than just doing something generic. Like I've seen brandname.com /start, right? Or random things like that, that again looks like the brand is going to spam you and didn't take the time to kind of build links out that will send you directly to where you want to be. Setting expectations. So they said only 4 quick questions, which is a great way to do this, right? And the bad is, again, they're using Google Forms and very poor grammar on their end on the insert. And also only sending the tips when leaving a 5-star review, which is clearly against TOS. So I have more examples of these inserts. I can talk about this all day long, honestly. But I hope this kind of you understand what you need to do. If you do these 4 things that they did, like if you use a very similar insert, but you follow up in a much better way, you will get away with it. It will be, you will get a ton of reviews. You will get a ton of people coming in. And I even talk a lot about using inserts to launch new products and other things. So what did we learn? So first of all, customer service. You want to talk to your customers. You want to get out of your way to deliver a better experience. I can even say, just so you understand how extreme this can be, you can even send them, let's say the product doesn't work for them, you can even go ahead and send them a competitor's product that might work better for them, right? It might be a better fit for them. So it's all about having your customer being satisfied and not thinking that much about your bottom line. Professional equals boring. You want to be witty, playful, weird. You want them to remember you, right? And you need to do that by doing things differently. You want to lead them in, so only offer one thing. Make it super simple. Warranty, free product, surprise and over-deliver. So you want to look closely and optimize every single touch point with your customers. So that's everything. I basically do a lot of different things with sellers, and what you've seen today is a part of like a bigger thing that I did a few weeks ago. But basically I have my own mastermind It is for more advanced sellers, at least 2 years on Amazon. 6, 7, 8-figure sellers are in there. I do one-on-one consulting these days mainly for aggregators and not really for Amazon sellers that much. Selling your business, if that's interesting for you, since I've been working with aggregators, I've seen dozens of deals from both sides, helping sellers, helping the aggregators. So I know a lot about this topic as well. And I do many other things. If you want to work with me in any capacity or see what I can offer you, we have this short form. It's like 15 questions, 2 minutes to fill out. And if you do it now, I know not everyone is watching live. I know a lot of people are watching the recording. For those who are watching this live, I'm going to send out 10 of my 2.5-hour workshop on the 6-star experience for free. I was selling this for $47, and it's still selling for $47 on my website. So if you want to get it for free and you fill this out now, we'll send this to you. You can also scan this QR code, trying to do what I preach, right? So yeah, thank you, everyone. This was great. Megla, thank you for having me. And let me just move it over to questions, and also putting the link and QR code here as well.
That was really good. Wow, such great ideas. I was like smiling away looking at all of the examples that you were giving over there. So innovative and just so creative. I really like the the Warby Parker idea, the 100 words. That was just so creative and witty. Yeah, really good information. Thank you so much for that, Tomer. And do you want to just show the URL again? So let me display the URL at the bottom of the screen while we are talking. Or maybe you can just paste the URL in the chat box over here, and then I'll display it on the screen so that people have the opportunity to, yeah. Okay, cool. So guys, what questions do you have for Tomer? Come on, that was a great presentation. So many, cool ideas over there. And usually, Amazon e-commerce sellers, we don't think about these things because all we're thinking about is ranking. Let's rank our product and let's launch and let's do like 2-step URL and
Yeah, you see Facebook groups, people asking how to get reviews, and the truth is, you need to think about that before you launch your product. You need to plan getting the reviews before you even launch it, and not after you launch. You're like kind of trying to get reviews from people. It needs to be a part of the product development process.
Exactly. Totally makes sense. And guys, I have also pasted the link in the comment section. So in case you're, wherever you're watching from, Facebook, YouTube, just look at the comments of the post and you'll be able to click on the link directly. So definitely go ahead and do that. So you talked about being witty and creative, but does this work for all types of products? I mean, I'm just trying to think of like a boring product, a very simple kind of product.
It does. Yeah, there are great agencies out there like Obedient Agency. It's called obedientagency.com. They take boring brands and make them funny and humorous, and that's what they're doing. And there are great websites you can use. So you can use 99designs.com for packaging ideas, right? To get a lot of packaging ideas going. And you can also use websites like squadhelp.com. Squadhelp.com helps you with coming up with funny taglines for your products, like "nice to see you," right? That Warby Parker has. So you can come up with basically it's like a PickFu or crowdsourcing for taglines, right? So a lot of people just offer you different taglines. 99 Designs is great to kind of brainstorm ideas with a lot of designers on a packaging idea for you or for your brand in general. And I will also say you usually just need to figure it out once. Once you figure out your kind of like your brand identity, and you kind of have a persona around your brand, everything gets a lot easier at that point. Once you know who you are, then everything kind of flows a lot better.
Exactly. And do you have any tips and advice for people to develop personas? Because I think that's also something that new entrepreneurs, new Amazon sellers struggle with, and maybe they don't start with that, although they should be starting with that. But do you have any suggestions or any tips on how to basically create a buyer persona?
Yeah, so maybe this won't surprise you a bit, but I don't think beginners should be concerned with that. I think beginners should be concerned with launching products. That's what they should be concerning about, and just launch a product on Amazon, just throw it up there, or Shopify, wherever you want to sell, and learn the platform. Use the first 2-3 products to learn everything about it. Don't worry too much about your branding, your packaging, how nice it's going to be. Focus on having a really, really good product. Focus on the product and how good it is, and everything else will be a lot easier. Once you have that good product and you want to build a brand around it, great, go ahead and do exactly everything I laid out today. And I know Sharon, the next speaker, is talking a lot about avatars as well. So I think there is a lot of content about doing that, but I don't really recommend it for beginners, because it's just going to take too much of your time and you don't even know what you're doing, right? Because you never sold anything online. So you want to start by selling, and then you will know a lot more on what's going on. And then the first or second product might be okay, but maybe that's not the brand you want to build. So maybe the third product is going to be, this is what I want to do. I even seen sellers selling their first brand and then selling it not because they want to get money off the table, they want it out, but they also might be burned out because that's not the brand they want to have. And then their second brand is, this is what I want. So that's another reason people sell their businesses these days. And then they can do the second one, like the legitimate way, you can say, by having an avatar, having a team, having resources. But I think for beginners, it's an overkill. You don't need it because you are not even confident with what it is that you're doing.
Right, makes sense. And I mean, you work with so many different sellers and Amazon sellers, e-commerce sellers. So what are some mistakes that you see people making most often as they are building their private label brand?
Yeah, I think too many are focused on things that are not important. So if you start selling on Amazon, you have nothing to look for in Shopify before you are at, let's say, high 6 figures or 7-figure seller. I even seen like 8-figure sellers not having a Shopify store. So it's not like, I think there are two, like once you have something going for you, like a good product, you think you understand Amazon at that point, you can dominate Amazon, you know everything about it, but it doesn't really work that way. You just want to focus on the basics: product research, sourcing, reviews, launching, PPC. That's where the money is. It's not in shiny objects or hacks or tricks or whatever it may be. So you want to focus on the basics, and you'll be like, that's the 80%. That's where you want to be.
That is great advice. Well, Tomer, thank you so much for your time today. Really good information, very informative, insightful, entertaining presentation as well. So thank you so much. And guys, check out Tomer's website if you do want to get a consultancy with the Tomer. That's his website. And we are going to be giving away 3 free consultation sessions with Tomer at the end of the session. So stick around until the end. We'll be asking a couple of questions. And if you get the answer correct, then you'll be able to win consultations with Tomer. So Tomer, thank you so much for your time again. And I'll see you around.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the event, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, that was a fantastic presentation by Tomer. And now we're going to move ahead to a supplier. We've got Nancy waiting backstage. Hi, Nancy. How are you doing?
Hi. Hi, Matt.
Hi. So, Nancy, you are from, what's your company name? And yes, Rhinel. Okay. Ibu Rhinel. So go ahead and tell us about your company and then also show your products.
Okay.
Oops, where did she go? I think she got disconnected. Let's just give Nancy a couple of minutes to get back on. She got disconnected and she has left. Nancy has left the building. Famous words. Nancy has left the building. Well, I'm going to go ahead and invite Sharon on stage. Oh, there, Nancy's back. Let me just see.
Hello,
but I'm going to invite Sharon as well. Hi, Sharon. You're here.
Hi Nancy as well.
So,
I'd like to introduce my factory. Our factory is started with 2,000 years, and we have 18 years experience, and we have designer team to support the customer products. Our product line is party costume and pet costume, woman pajama clothes and pet bed. Today we want to show the 2 kind of products, and pet clothes for dog clothes winter. Okay, that's this one. Maybe sleeper is better good.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay.
So what are these made from? What's the material?
Our product is party costume and pet costume. The material is surface material is waterproof. It is waterproof and filled with PP cotton. We have seven size, for size small up to extra large size, and we have three colors, black, pink, and silvers. This also have a vest like this one. This is our daily pet clothes. Another item is our background costume for parties like Halloween, Christmas, and carnivals.
Okay. Do you want to show some products?
Yes. We want to show Christmas items. This is our okay. Better this one. Yes.
That's cute.
Yes. We have produced almost party costume for adult and also produce pet costumes. They wear same style, same costumes. And our price range is 0.9 up to $2 US based on the quantity. Usually based on 300 pieces is our MOQ. So that means you could mix three sizes. Also for adult costumes. And for adult costume, our price range is 4 US dollars up to $18. It's based on the high quality fabric. If you just for Amazon market, usually 300 pieces, our product price is 3.9 US dollars up to 5.9 US dollars. So we just make customized products. That means you could produce your own logo, own package, and own size. Because we have
Yeah.
our own designer team.
Okay, that's very interesting. I like the idea of having a set for an adult and their pet. So it's nice to have the same design, matching design for both. That's a really good idea.
Yes. We also have on our global stores website, we have some items in stock. That means you could order 2 pieces or just 1 piece is worthwhile.
Okay, that's awesome. So, guys, check out this company, Yiwu Rhinel. The URL is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, and I've also just posted the URL in all of the posts wherever you're watching this video, YouTube, Facebook. So go ahead and click on the URL, and you can check out their products. Very interesting pet clothes from Rhinel. Thank you so much, Nancy, for joining us today, and we'll see you around. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, Sharon. Hi, how are you?
I forgot that I was on mute. Hi, Megla. How are you?
Hi, good to see you. I'm good. I'm great. Okay,
good.
so yes, I'm so excited about your session because you always bring so much literally actionable content. I mean, your YouTube videos and everything that you do is just full of great tips that people can go implement in their businesses immediately, that they can just go do. So I love that about your content. So let's get started without any further ado. Do you want to go ahead and share your slides? Or yeah.
Yep. Before I do, I just want to say that my main computer isn't working, so I'm on my laptop, and I hope that it all works out. Worst case scenario, stop me, and I'll switch to a different way of sharing my screen. Okay?
Okay, no worries. Let's go for it.
All right, cool. So I'm going to click on share screen.
And guys, everybody watching, if you have any questions, type them in the comments. And, that's one of the main advantages of attending a live conference, that you can engage with the speaker, you can ask questions. So I see that the audience is very quiet today. No worries, take your time. So we have Andy joining us, and he says, such an amazing lady. Yes, absolutely. I adore Sharon completely.
Okay, Megla, I hope it's going to work. Can you see my screen or not yet?
Not yet. I think what you can do is maybe just try sharing your entire screen instead of a specific tab. That might work. Sometimes that works better with the StreamYard rather than, trying to share a particular tab.
Okay, see, this is the wonders of my computer not working. I wonder if there is. I may have to quickly, possibly, send you my updated one, and maybe you'll have to share screen, Megla. Give me. If that is something that will have to happen, is that okay, Megla, if we do it that way?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it that way. I've
actually updated it, so I'll quickly send it.
Okay. Is it on a Google link or no? If you can send me the Google link, that would be best. Oh.
Yeah, everything's just playing up. I don't know what's happened. I really hope that we figure it out while we're live. Give me 1 second. I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. I promise that it's worth it.
Yes, it will definitely be worth it.
I will say that yesterday I stayed up till really late to add a few things to this. And I did just hear Tom Air before me say that you focus on, on buyer avatar and things like that. And I think that it's important that we all remember that there are like many different ways of doing things, because a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about is about buyer avatars as well for product research. So
that's
it's
awesome.
Almost there. I'm in the middle of sending it to Megla. Megla, I think you're going to have to share the screen.
Okay.
Because
I'm waiting for it.
I can't figure out what's wrong here. It's almost there. Almost there.
Thanks a lot, guys, for waiting. And Andy says you're always worth it. Thank you so much, Andy. You're such an amazing supporter of everything that we do. Okay.
It's Andy. I know who Andy is.
Andy Aykroyd. Yeah, that's his
Yes.
Google name, Pachedu.
I wonder if I share it through here. Can you still not see my screen?
No.
Megla?
No.
Okay. It's almost sent. How's Global Sources been going so far today? Was Tomer the first person?
No. So this is the second session that we're doing. We did the first session this morning, and it went really well. We had a really good panel discussion with Steven Selikoff, Afolabi, and Francois, and we talked about all of the different sourcing trends. I mean, sourcing is just so messed up right now, right? With logistics and everything's just crazy. So, while we're waiting for the slides, Sharon, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and start talking about what you do and, how you help Amazon sellers. And in the meantime, I'll just wait for the slides and open them.
Okay. Sorry, Megla, I was in the middle. I think I figured it out. Hold on. Let's see if I figured it out. It was I think I figured it out. Let's see. Can you see it now or still not?
No.
Okay. All right. I sent you the slides. What do you want me to tell everyone?
About yourself, what you do and how do you really help Amazon sellers?
I sell on Amazon. I've been selling online since I was 15. And with Amazon sellers, I show people how to find products. I teach people how to do PPC. But really, all in all, anything that you need on Amazon when it comes to selling your own products, I can help you. Basically, I do one-on-one coaching. I also have a YouTube channel, and I'm the co-host on Seller Sessions. So
Awesome.
Yeah. And I sent you the slides.
Okay, they're still not here. Still waiting for them. Okay, got it.
Okay. Yay, thank God. And I'll just tell
Yay.
you which thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you just tell me when you switch. So let me just.
All right, we're improvising as we go.
Tech issues. This is a challenge with with specifically live sessions, but that's the fun of it.
Yep.
So,
I just saw Andy said you've been going for 12 hours. I can't believe that.
yes, I have.
That's crazy.
Okay. How's that?
Okay, cool. Yep. If we can, is there any way to zoom in a little bit, or is that it?
Let me see. Yeah.
Okay,
How's that?
cool.
Is that better? Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So, product research for 2022. I wanted to specifically focus on how we can find your niche and build a brand. Now, I will be saying throughout the presentation why I think it is important to focus on niches and on brand building rather than old school methods of just sticking to selling random products, but we'll go with the flow. So next slide, Migla. Okay, who am I? So I am a 7-figure Amazon seller and a brand builder. I'm the founder of the Sharon Evan YouTube channel and of the Amazon FBA Alphas and the Alpha Coaching. And I'm a co-host on the Seller Sessions podcast. And next slide, Migla. You may have seen me in many different summits and podcasts, as you can see here. All right, and let's get into it. So the topics I will be discussing today is number one, what has changed? Because as Migla was saying before, supply chain is really screwed up at the moment. And it's something that I believe you have to be aware of today. What we must be doing in order to survive on Amazon today. Migla, just so you know, I'm getting feedback. Maybe you want to mute yourself. Sounds like you've muted me as well. Can you hear me? Okay. Why niching down and becoming a shark in a small pond is important, in my opinion, today. What the niching down process looks like, how to find your starting points, because I found in my time of coaching other people that a lot of people's hardest part of finding a product is a starting point. So we're going to talk about starting points. I quickly put this into the presentation yesterday because it's a new tool that I think is bought. It's kind of a game changer. It's the new Amazon Product Opportunity Explorer tool. I'm going to give an example of what niching down can look like and one of my favorite current product research methods. So that's what we're going to talk about. Next slide, Migla, please. Okay, so as Migla said just before we started, a lot has changed. COVID has impacted the world in many different ways. For the e-commerce world, on the one hand, it's caused even more demand. And on the other, it's caused a lot of adapting and adjusting for e-commerce businesses and the way that we run our business. Migla, can you hear me? Yep. Okay, cool. Next slide. Cool. So worldwide, on the one hand, the world and worldwide e-commerce has seen a large increase in sales, including Amazon worldwide markets. You can see year over year when it comes to e-commerce. I think that before COVID, e-commerce was 10% of retail, if I'm not mistaken. And today, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 13 or 15%. So we can see that year over year, it keeps growing and growing and growing. And specifically COVID has caused, I mean, even my 85-year-old grandfather now buys online. So on the one hand, it's had that amazing side of the fact that demand has grown. On the other hand, if we go to the next slide, it's also caused a whole bunch of chaos. So a lot has changed, and I will ask Migla also maybe that we can send these slides out later in case people can't see it zoomed in, or I'll find a place to send it to people. So a lot has changed. We said on the one hand, there's a lot more demand, but on the other hand, there's a lot of chaos. So number one, supply chain currently is absolutely chaotic. The entire supply chain industry is broken. This includes trucking and shipping, 3PLs, issues with ports, etc. Manufacturing today is also broken. You've got major increased lead time. You've got increase in raw material, increase in labor costs, the exchange rate, restock limits within Amazon. Amazon's changing their restock limits without warning. The last restock limit that they created was, I think, 7 or 8 months ago. They just said it overnight without giving us any warnings. And another thing that has changed is that Amazon is itself as a company is rewarding people who are actually brand registered and have a brand, rather as in the way that they're giving more marketing tools and protection, etc., to people who are actually brand registered. So it looks like Amazon is also going towards the direction where they want you to focus on brand building rather than selling random stuff. Even in order today for you to create a listing and actually use a brand name and not be generic, even for that today, you need to prove that your product actually has a logo on it. So also Amazon looks like it's going towards the direction of brand building. Now, even though this is not part of how to find a product, I did feel that this was crucial to speak about, because when it comes to product research, I feel that today you have to know a lot more than what you maybe needed to know 5 or 6 years ago. When I started on Amazon in 2016, you could get away with not knowing how your product is manufactured. You could get away with not knowing everything about, how to optimize your shipping in the best way. Today, with the amount of chaos that there is, you really can't get away with that anymore. The chaos in supply chain means that you have to have much better inventory optimization. You may come across out of stock issues. You have to have more cash flow, basically. The broken manufacturing may mean that you'll need larger orders or closer sourcing, meaning closer to where you are. Obviously, products are costing more today as well. You're going to have much smarter sourcing. Restock limits, this means that you will most probably need to use 3PLs, and you will need to learn how to prioritize your products if you have multiple products. And brand building, obviously Amazon is looking towards more of people who are focusing on brand building. We can go to the next slide, Megala, please. Another thing that has changed, because again, it's important to speak about the changes. Thomas spoke about this just before me as well. It's like a thing now to be an Amazon aggregator. They're just popping out from left to right. There's so many different aggregators out there today. And on the one hand, if you're able to get to a place where you exit, that's amazing. On the other hand, as a seller today, a lot of your competition could also be an aggregator who have a huge marketing team behind them. They have a lot of money behind them. So in my experience from working with many sellers, and I don't live just in my little bubble of products, basically, I've come to the conclusion that although the goal is to get to an exit, most people that watch us are not necessarily going to get there. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to, find great products and be able to make a lot of money on Amazon. But I think that it doesn't need to be the only goal. But you have to know today that there are a lot of aggregators out there, which also means that some of your competitors could have a huge marketing team behind them with a lot of money that you may not have. And that's another point as to why I think that getting into niches is something that everyone should be thinking about as well. Next slide. So what is product research going to look like in 2022? Let's move on to the next slide. So the first thing that I think is absolutely crucial to understand is you need more cash flow than what you needed years ago. When you're selling on Amazon today, with all the chaos that I spoke about before, Megla, can you hear me? Am I back? Yep. Okay. All right. So cash flow is absolutely important, which means that you need money coming in. If maybe back in the day you could think about quitting your job, after 6 months, it's probably not going to happen. Now you need to make sure that you keep having cash flow coming in. And that's mostly also because of the amount of chaos there is in supply chain today. Smarter sourcing. You can't source the way that we used to source back in the day today. You have to be really, really smart about your sourcing, which means you have to understand exactly what your product is made out of, the manufacturing of your product. You have to understand how to optimize your shipping best way possible. Be really, really smart about what port you're sending your products to, etc. And also, we'll speak a little bit later about diversifying where you're sourcing from as well. Differentiation, you need to have much better differentiation today than what you may have been able to get away with in the past. Differentiation is key today. So these are the main three things that I think that is a big difference between possibly 2019, 2020, 2021 coming into 2022. Need more cash flow, must be smarter when it comes to sourcing. You need to know everything, the ins and outs of your products today, and better differentiation. Next slide, please. So COVID-19 has taught us that diversification is important and that you should not put all your eggs in one basket. I heard the speaker before me saying that, you should, at this point, you should only really focus on selling on Amazon. I personally disagree with that today as someone who sells on Amazon and off of Amazon, simply because of the fact that I think COVID's taught us that if your product can only be sold on Amazon, you're, at any point could lose your business. Imagine if Amazon tomorrow takes down your entire product range and that's the only place that you're making your money, and you have a house to feed, children to feed, a mortgage to pay, etc. Whereas if you're also selling your products outside of Amazon, so from the very beginning, looking into products that are social media worthy and products that are able to be sold outside of Amazon as well, we can move on to the next slide, Nicola. All right, we absolutely have to diversify our sourcing today. I don't think that there is a replacement to obviously sourcing from China, but I think that it's very much something that the world needs to start thinking about as well, something that COVID has taught us. Some of you may be thinking, well, what has this got to do with product research? But sourcing and product research go hand in hand. You can't find a product and not know where to source it from, all right? And I'm talking about this as well. And I think something that's crucial about understanding about me is that, like, I'm in the trenches with everyone as well. I actually sell on Amazon, and all the shit that everyone's going through, I'm going through on a day-to-day basis as well. So I'm talking about this stuff because I'm affected by it daily. Even I have had to be a lot smarter with the way that I'm sourcing and forcing myself to learn how to source from other countries that I don't really have experience in. So looking into, obviously, places like India, Mexico, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, the US, Turkey, etc. I think that it is an important time that if you understand what your product requirements are, how your products are made, etc., you can then look at, well, what other country apart from China can I also look at? And why this is important is because if COVID has taught me anything as a brand builder, as a seller, and as a coach, is that you just absolutely cannot have all your eggs in one basket in anything anymore, which includes where you sell your products and where you source your products from. And I'm sure that Megla would probably absolutely agree with this as well. We can move on to the next slide. Okay. I think that today it is also, and soon you guys will understand where this is leading me to. I think today it is also really important to diversify your marketing. I am very strong on, if you sell on Amazon, then you most definitely should be knowing how to launch your products on Amazon. But again, if COVID has taught us anything, it's that we should not put all our eggs in one basket. And therefore, I think that in a world where social media is so important today, and honestly, you can also, if you know how to do it properly, market your products in many different ways, also for free through social media as well. I think that finding a product or building a brand with products that do focus on a buyer avatar, so that you do know where your buyers hang out, so that you can also market to them outside of Amazon today, is crucial. And I think that this is also one more thing that has really changed a lot in the last couple of years, but I think mostly also in the last year, even more. So we should be looking at diversifying our sourcing, diversifying where we're selling our products, and then also diversifying our marketing. Let's go to the next slide. And then diversifying our product catalog. So back in the days, most people would just focus on selling products, and you could get away with that when you sold on Amazon. I think, 2016, 17, 18, 19, possibly a little bit of 2019, you could probably get away with just selling random stuff on Amazon. But I most definitely think that the world is going into a direction of brand building and focusing on a buyer avatar rather than selling random stuff, exactly for the reasons what I spoke about earlier. Also about when you understand where they hang out, you can also easily market to them. And that way you're not only dependent on Amazon. Okay, now let's talk about the biggest problem with everything I just said. So part of the problem with everything I just said is that most sellers today are usually taught to find their products using softwares. I have never used softwares to find products, and I don't intend to use softwares to find products. I do use softwares for keywords research and competitor research, and for many things when it comes to analyzation, but I do not use softwares to find starting points. So softwares, most sellers that are using softwares ends up buying the same product, finding the same products because everyone's taught to put in the exact same parameters. Differentiation, a lot of Am I back, Megla? Okay. A lot of people don't notice how differentiation is crucial today. When I talk about differentiation, that means visual differentiation from the search page. Okay. A lot of people say, well, my product has got a lot better quality. That's a must. That's not a differentiation, right? Your quality should always be the best quality that there is. And not only that, the buyer will not know that your product is much better quality until they receive the product. So your differentiation today must be visual, because people are going to a search page on Amazon and they have your product and other products, and we want you to get that click and for them to actually click onto your listing and see what your offer is. And if your product looks exactly the same as everyone else's, you're probably not going to get that click, or it's going to be a price war. So who sells for the least price? And the most important thing that I think that is a real big issue today, and there's a lot of content out there is also at fault for people thinking about this. A lot of people are just so algorithm focused. Many sellers are only thinking about how to trick the algorithm and things like that. And they forget that we're making products for real people. So we're actually selling to a shopper and an actual human, not just looking at numbers and algorithms. And I think that's something that is important. And yeah, we can go to the next slide. Finding your niche. Yep, let's go. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so first of all, what do I mean by when I talk about niching down? Because this is something that you may hear me say throughout the presentation. How do we niche down? So what is niching down? On the left-hand side, we can see there is a category. Under a category is a niche. Within that niche, there is a sub-niche, and there can also be what I call a micro-niche. An example of that would be fitness would be the category, yoga could be the niche, sub-niche could be the kids yoga, and a micro-niche could be yoga for little girls. Or it could be, for example, yoga mats for kids, okay? So a lot of people think that, well, if you're niching down, then there probably isn't a lot of demand around that. That's not true. There is a lot of niches out there that people, so for example, if I was to tell you to sell a yoga mat a year ago, because in the last year I've spoken about yoga mats a lot, so maybe this isn't applicable anymore, but a year ago, if you were to look at kids yoga and yoga mats for kids, there were no yoga mats made for kids a year ago. There was maybe 2. And there was a lot of search volume around kids yoga mats. And when you would type into Amazon kids yoga mats, what you would see would be yoga mats for adults, because no one was making them for kids. So they were getting the sales for those keywords. So also, if you would have spoken to any Amazon expert or leader or whatever a year ago and say, hey, I want to launch a yoga mat, they would have laughed at you and said, that's way too saturated. not only that, you'll see throughout the presentation how I can. It's if you're able to repurpose a product or take a product that is saturated on Amazon from one place and sell it to a certain buyer avatar, in many situations, you can not only build a brand around that, but you can get away with selling those saturated products. So niching down, even if it's in a saturated niche, of course, there's market analysis and keyword analysis that you need to do there, but you can, in many scenarios, get away with that. Next slide, please. So I call it becoming a shark in a small pond. Most people are usually going to be, we can see the two fish bowls. I took this from another presentation of mine, and I try to put it in every single presentation that I have so that people can sort of, visualize this and remember this. A lot of people are trying to be a large fish a small fish in a large pond, and I want to be a shark in a small pond. So, for example, the left-hand side would be the saturated niche or the category, and then the shark is me dominating in a niche, and hopefully you dominating in a niche. We can move on to the next slide. All right, I'm taking a really quick sip. Okay. I talk a lot, and I was thinking about how I can make this, still get everything out there, but make it very focused on what I want to bring out. There are a lot of things you need to do beyond what I'm going to talk about today, but this is just a bird's eye view of my niching down process, okay? We find a category or a product. We brainstorm who can we sell this to, by avatar, knowing who you're selling to, keyword research around that, market and niche analysis, competitor analysis, differentiation. I haven't spoken here about sourcing or cost because that would be for a different presentation and for another time, because right now I'm focusing how to actually look at niches. I encourage everyone to take a screenshot of this because this is my exact, it's not a formula, it's just my exact process for how I find niches. We can go to the next slide. All right, so the thing I find that people have struggled with the most, I work with a lot of sellers one-on-one, and I noticed that when the more people that you work with, the more you realize how much you live in your own bubble. And that's why I feel like I'm a much better seller today from coaching so many people, because for me, starting points were really easy to find. And that's just the type of person that I am. I'm a very creative person. And I found that for a lot of people, it's like a real big headache for them to get to this. So there are 3 different starting points that I usually look at. The first one is product. So you may have found a product, and then the question is, how can I focus on a specific niche? So for example, how we looked at yoga or yoga mats, right? Really saturated, but is there a specific buyer avatar that I can sell it to? Your starting point may be a category. So you may have found a broader category. So for example, fitness or yoga, and then how do you niche down? Buyer avatar, you found a specific buyer avatar, and you want to find products to sell to that buyer avatar. So let's just say an example could be a buyer avatar could be, I've spoken about this in the past, let's say a nurse. Nurses in America need to buy all their own gear. And there are many, many products that they need once they start working at a hospital or at a clinic. And they have to buy that themselves. They're not given it from the hospitals. So for example, if you were to start doing research on the buyer avatar as in nurses, not only are there different types of nurses, right? But there are so many different types of products, and there is so much demand around that. So my starting point could have been, for example, a product, it could have been a category, or it could have been a buyer avatar. And then how do I focus on a very specific niche within that? So examples, next slide, please. So if I found a product, I would ask myself the question, number 1, is there a gap in this market? Can I repurpose this product? Can I focus on a specific buyer avatar? So you want to be able to focus on a specific buyer avatar or a specific niche, but you don't want to also be way too specific. So if I found yoga mats and I asked myself, is there a gap in the market? And I started, you'll see soon, I have a list of things I go through. And I started to ask myself, okay, can I sell this to a specific type of person that does yoga? I don't want to get too specific to only pink yoga mats. That's probably a little bit like pink yoga mats for 5-year-olds. That's probably too specific. Okay, so we don't want to get too specific, but we do want to be able to focus on a specific niche. Can a slight change be made to the niche, and can it also be bundled with a better offer? A lot of the time, a bundle is a great way to differentiate as well. Next slide, please. So an example could be, for example, let's just say that the product was cutting boards, and I wanted to focus specifically on mini cutting boards for kids. Okay. Or the product could have been blankets and blankets for, and let's just say blankets for people in the hospital. It's always cold in a hospital 24/7, whether it's hot or cold outside. And it could be positivity blankets. If the product was, for example, yoga mats, as I said, I love this example, as you can tell, then yoga mats for kids. So I found a product. A lot of the time, when people look at a product, the first thing they'll do is they'll open up something like helium-10 X-ray and they're like, oh, it's way too saturated. But then they forget that, well, wait a minute, this is one keyword. You're looking at a bird's eye view of it, but can you niche down to a specific buyer avatar within that? Blankets as a whole may be saturated on Amazon, but do you know how many different buyer avatars you can sell blankets to? There are so many specific types of blankets that you can sell to and focus on a specific niche. Same thing with yoga mats back in the day. Today, I'm probably part of the reason why it's become saturated a little bit. But anyway, let's go to the next slide. Category. So starting point with a category. So for example, let's say that you know that you would like to sell a decor product. You just don't know what. So you'll see in the next couple of slides how I would ask myself then, well, then what kind of decor? So for example, it could be that I'm looking to decor and then I get to outdoor decor and then I'm going to focus on garden and then I focus specifically on tree decor. Okay, tree decor is a big thing in America. Bridal showers, if you were to tell someone that you want to get into the bridal shower niche, they may say to you, oh, it's so saturated. Yes and no, because there's so many niches within that. So I could focus on gifts for bridesmaids. I could focus on bridesmaids proposal gift sets. I could focus on groomsmen proposal gifts, flower girl proposal gifts, etc. So when you're looking at a category as a starting point, it's actually not that difficult to start niching down. You just need to start making a list, which I'll show you how to do soon. And then the third starting point is, let's go to the next slide. Starting with a specific buyer avatar. So if you're able to make a list of different types of buyer avatars, it could be through writing down different types of careers, different types of people, disabled people, special needs, specific type of religion, whatever it may be. And many times they need products. Okay. So, or for example, in the example I've given here, it could be that you're maybe looking into teachers and you may see a specific type of teacher supply and you could focus on PE teacher supplies. Or if you want to look towards gifts for women and specifically focus on divorced women and then funny gifts for divorced women. And this may sound like funny to you, but if you went and looked at funny gifts for divorced women keywords, you'll see that there are a lot of people searching for gifts to buy women who are divorced. And I find all these different types of things just by focusing on different types of buyers and really niching down using things like Pinterest and Google, etc. Next slide, please. So starting point. Yep, ideas. Okay, so you guys may not be able to see this well, what we're looking at now. I wonder if I can zoom into that. Okay, great. So I have a product research and sourcing course and I do a marathon every month. And in my marathon, I send out a worksheet to everyone. These are some of the questions that I give to people when it comes to worksheets. So we talked about, well, how do we find those starting points? Because I don't use softwares for starting points. We said that. I only use my brain. So how do I get to those starting points? So for example, a list of hobbies, things that you or your children or your partner or your sibling or your friends love to do. So you can see that these were my examples. I wrote down Pokemon because my son's obsessed with Pokemon, Lego, ninjas, and then I wrote watches because my husband has a thing for watches. And this may sound funny to you, but if you went and looked at keywords like storage for Pokemon on Amazon, you'll see that there's a lot of search volume around that. Life-changing experiences. Remember, we're focusing right now on how to find your starting point. Life-changing experiences that you have gone through or someone close to you have gone through. So for example, pregnancy, one of my brands is a postpartum brand. And I started that brand because I gave birth and I went through all these different things after I gave birth. Sickness, birth, dream job, becoming a parent, losing a loved one. I've lost a business as well in the past. All of these things could be starting points for niches or for products. And a lot of the time, you are your buyer avatar, and you can make the best freaking products in the world because you're your own buyer avatar. And you didn't even think about that. So for example, I put here sickness, and it's not like, you know, the best subject to speak about, but for example, cancer, there are so many keywords around gifts for people with cancer. And I had a coaching call with a woman once who had survived cancer 4 times. And we started speaking about all these different gifts that she was given, how pathetic they were. And I said to her, why don't you look into that? Like, you were the end receiver for that. And we spoke about all of these different things. And there was so much search volume around these things. And you're also helping people and possibly even changing lives. So think about these types of things as well. Sometimes your starting point is things that you've gone through. Things that you're like, weird things that you love to do, or that you like. So for example, I have a thing for owls, right? I went and looked up owl decor. There's like a whole search volume around owl decor. I love anything to do with stationery, adult Lego, superheroes, all things cute. Please remember I said all things cute, because soon you'll see how I found an entire niche around that. My mom has a things for shoes. I love huskies. I drink way too much water. All of these things can lead me to starting points for finding products. Jobs that you may have had in the last couple of years. Remember, we said that sometimes a starting point can also be a certain type of buyer avatar. So for example, my mom works with seniors. My sister is a DJ. My husband used to own a restaurant. My dad has a driving school. My stepdad has a helicopter business. All of these things, I can start making lists of products these people need. Right? And I can do more research about that. One of my favorite ways today to do product research, and probably one of the ways that like I feel most passionate about, is having these starting points and then joining Facebook groups around these starting points. So for example, Kids Hacks. There's a Facebook group that I've joined around Kids Hacks. Boho Decor, Montessori Education, cute stuff. And soon you'll see I've joined a whole bunch of kawaii, which is Japanese, the word cute in Japanese, Facebook groups, home decor Facebook groups. And soon you'll see how those Facebook groups can lead me into products. Wow, that was a lot of talking. Next slide, please. Okay, so when we're going through our different starting points, because again, we spoke about how sometimes it can be difficult for people to think of starting points. You may have seen different presentations of mine where I say that hobbies is one of the great ways to find niches as well, because every single hobby in this world is connected to products. If you think of any hobby, you're welcome to go and do this. Any hobby that you think of, like even insect pinning. There's like a hobby where people pin insects for like, I don't know, some presenting. It's really gross. Even for that, they need products, right? So hobbies are a great way of finding products. You can go to here to Wikipedia and see a whole bunch of weird ass hobbies that you've never even thought of ever. Just go to Google, type in hobbies, and Wikipedia will come up. There's, I think, like 300 something there. Another thing is careers. So a lot of different types of careers need different types of products. Yep, we can go on, Megla, to the next one. Decor styles. So there's so much money in decor on Amazon. And not only that, most decor products are not review dependent. They're design dependent. So the point of entry is easier as long as you get the right type of product for that type of buyer. Next, please. Okay, once we have come up with our starting points, this is what I usually do with myself. I say, can I market it to a specific type of niche? So for example, and we don't want to get too specific, But for example, I spoke about decor earlier. So there's so many different types of decor, right? There's shabby chic, boho, farmhouse, humorous, funny, Scandinavian, rustic, minimalistic, country, etc. Not only that, there's also decor for certain things like music decor or decor for doctors' clinics, right? There's so many different types of decor. When you found your niche, can you sell it in a different language, right? Spanish in America is the second largest, would be the right word, language, most spoken language after English, right? There are many, many products that you can make in Spanish and they will sell very well because of the amount of search volume around it. Canada, French, etc. Different countries obviously will have a different secondary language. If you found a specific type of product, can you sell it or make a twist to it or repurpose it to a specific type of buyer avatar with a certain illness or a disability? Okay. And I speak that as a sister to an older brother who was special needs. And every single time we found products for my brother, it was a blessing. So yes, you're spending money on buying something, but it's not that easy to find products for special needs. So I always say, if you can find that, there's a lot of search volume around it, and you're not only selling a product that's actually helping someone, but also there's actual demand around there. Seniors, kids, right? We spoke about yoga earlier. What about, so yoga mats may be saturated as a whole, but what about yoga mats for seniors? I've never looked at that. I just made that up right now. But, or yoga mats for kids, or yoga specifically for women during pregnancy, etc. I think you guys got the point. We can go to the next slide. Otherwise, we'll be here forever. Okay, before I continue, I really want to give a really quick introduction, if you don't know, about the latest update, which is Amazon's Product Opportunity Explorer. Very quickly, we'll go through this. So Amazon's Opportunity Explorer. Yep, we can go to the next one. Okay, so you should be seeing it under growth, and it should say Product Opportunity Explorer in your Seller Central account. If you can't see it, you can email Amazon in for them to give you access to it. And basically the way that it works is that where it says search in the middle there, I'm showing you on the screen as if you can see, but Megla will probably show around in the middle where it says search. You can put in a keyword around. It could be a very broad keyword. For example, I don't know, something like yoga. And then it will start to show you a whole bunch of niches within that specific category. Let's scroll down to the next one, Megla. You can also refine the searches that you put in. So you can choose, tell Amazon to look only at whatever keyword you're putting in a specific category. So let's just say if I've typed in the word body scrub, and I could say, please only look for body scrub within the beauty niche or the beauty category. Okay, so you can refine your search as well. Next slide, please. You can also, don't know what else. Oh, and then you can also search by specific subcategory as well. So I could also put in face scrub, body scrub, and then focus on only a specific subcategory like personal care as an example. Next slide, please. Megla, can you hear me? Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, next slide. Yep, next slide. Yep. Okay, so why am I even talking about this? Because this is a game changer, because it is showing us actual data from Amazon. Up to now, we've mostly used things like Helium 10, Jungle Scout, Merchant Words, etc., where they are giving us estimations of keyword data. And this is Amazon giving us actual keyword data. The difference here is that it's either for a 90-day period or a 360-day period. And then you have to try and guess what that is on the monthly basis. Not that it matters. What really matters is that people are searching for this. So here you've got actual search volume from within Amazon per keyword. I didn't want to spend too much time with this. So if we go to the next slide, I do have, which Megla has seen this as well, an in-depth tutorial on it that you can watch later because we don't have time for it now. Okay, this is where coming to the last part of the presentation. This is currently my favorite way to find products. The first part to this was to find starting points, right? To find specific niches or buyer avatars, etc. And my next step currently is I go into Facebook groups. Why? Because I don't then need something like PickFu, because I have the actual buyer avatars inside of a group where I can ask questions. I can like really analyze the buyer avatar within this. One of the first things that I do, if I can't find products myself, I'll go to where it says media. So this is, for example, a Montessori Facebook group. What you do is you go to Facebook on the top left, you put in, for example, Montessori, and then you click on groups, and it will start showing you heaps and heaps of different groups. You can also filter it by specific country. You can see that this specific group has 186,000 members in it. Okay, if you only knew the amount of product ideas I've had from this exact group just by doing what I'm about to show you. So the quickest way to do this, it doesn't mean it's the only way yet, you can go to the next one, is clicking on media. Because when you go to media, it straight away shows you images. It just shows you photos that these people have uploaded to this group. And I mean, I have an eye for things, so I specifically will know how to click on something quickly to get an idea. But if you look at this specific product here, I'm not saying this is a good or a bad product. I just never knew what this was until I saw it in this group, right? I clicked on this, and then I think it's called like marble racing or something like that. I clicked on this, and then I learned something new about a specific product that I would have never known about before. I don't think I put this in the presentation, but I did go to Amazon and I looked this up. So this woman put up a photo. She said that she bought this at a Montessori sale, and a few different women commented on this, telling her what it was. Some women asked her where she got it from. And then I was like, I've never heard of this. Went to Amazon, typed it in, went to the Opportunity Explorer, typed in the keyword, and I saw that there was like hundreds and thousands of search volume around this. Now, I did see that there was a lot of competition around this, but when I was on the Opportunity Explorer, I saw the keyword glow in the dark marble racing, whatever it is. I've now forgotten the name.
I think she's frozen. Sharon, are you there? Oh, we're having tech issues today.
Am I back? It's not my day today. Can you hear me, Nicola?
Yeah, you're back
Okay.
now.
Okay. All right, we're
Okay,
almost done. We're
yeah.
almost done.
Okay.
I just need you to share again. Yeah, here we are. Okay, Nicola, you need to mute yourself because there's feedback.
Oh.
Please. Cool. Okay, I will just make sure that you can hear me. Nicola, do this if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Okay, so I went to Opportunity Explorer and I saw that there were a lot of searches around, not a lot. I saw that there was a niche, glow in the dark, marble racing. And then I went, you don't even understand what I did. I went to YouTube and I started looking at different YouTube videos around people racing marbles. And these are things that I wouldn't even know about, because even though I do believe in Montessori and I am a mother to a young kid, I didn't know about these types of things. And being in this group shows me it blows my mind the amount of products that you're suddenly exposed to. And then you just type in that keyword, you go to Amazon, and you start the rabbit hole process of looking at keywords. But my favorite example is the next example. So this is another group. Please go to the next slide, Nicola. Okay. Do you remember that I said earlier that I have a thing for cute things, right? So it was brought to my attention. If you know me, then you know that like I'm even embarrassed to show you how many cute things I have here. But anyway, it was brought to my attention that there is an actual niche out there called kawaii. So kawaii is cute in Japanese. And if you went and looked on Amazon, on Google, on anywhere that shows the keyword data, kawaii is like a huge thing, right? It's usually specifically gamer girls, which, remember, gaming today is like a huge thing in the world, and also gamer girls, it's a huge thing. And they love to buy cute little things. So I went ahead and joined a whole bunch of different Kawaii groups. This is one of them, Kawaii Finds. It's got 75,000 members in it. Please go to the next slide, Nicola. Okay. The people are going to laugh when they see this. This was one of the images that somebody had put in media. Now, this is like, probably some people will think it's like pathetic. This is a garbage bag. It's pink and it smells good. And it's by Glad, which is a really, really huge brand, right? Look at the amount of people who liked this. 1,000 people liked this. 163 people shared it, and there's 66 comments. I went through every single one of those comments and I read them. And it blew my mind how much people were talking about this simple pink garbage bag, right? So I was like, okay, let's do a little bit of research. Went to Amazon. Next slide, please. Oh, no, I didn't. Before I went to Amazon, this is probably me wanting to show you guys around the search volume. So if I didn't notice, I didn't use anything within Helium 10 or anything like that. I only showed you data from Amazon itself. I typed in Kawaii on its own into Amazon and into the Explorer tool that I showed you. And you can see that in the last 90 days, and this is from November, so this doesn't include Q4, this includes before that, there were 384,000 searches with the word Kawaii in it, right? That is how popular Kawaii products are. I went onto Amazon. I may have screwed up the way I put this in the presentation. It doesn't matter. I'll say it now. I went into Amazon and I looked at pink. No, we'll stick to that slide for a second, Nicholas. Look to the one where you were, the one above. I went into Amazon and I looked at the pink garbage bags. And then I realized that there is quite a bit of pink garbage bags out there. Okay, it's not that it's not saturated or anything. There's quite a bit, and there's also quite a bit of pink garbage bags sold by big brands. But then, now you go to the next slide, I realized they're frequently bought with. And they were all frequently bought with pink bins. And I was like, hey, what a perfect bundle. Let's sell a pink bin with the pink garbage bags. But I'm not going after normal keywords. I'm going after the Kawaii keywords. And this is the thing. When you understand who your buyer avatar is, you can even take a generic product like a pink bin that you could never get away with without knowing what I'm about to tell you now, and a lot of money, obviously. You can never just sell randomly a bin today. Bins are so saturated in Amazon. But you can possibly, right, have to put that in there, disclaimer, possibly sell a cute pink bin, for example, in the shape of a cherry or in the shape of a mushroom or whatever, but focus on Kawaii keywords. So I could be going after a specific buyer avatar and selling, for example, a trash can and the bag set, but targeting Kawaii related keywords. So Kawaii bin, Kawaii room decor, etc. Those are broader keywords, but because there aren't a million. Can you still hear me, Nicola? Yeah? Okay. Because there aren't a million different Kawaii products, I would most probably be able to get away with this because I'm focusing specifically on brand building and specifically on the Kawaii niche. All right, next slide. So you can see I went into Amazon and I typed in, I went into Facebook and I typed in Kawaii Facebook groups. And you look at all these, 75,000, 43,000, 9,600, 34. I can't read that. I think it's 14K, etc. If you go into photos, you'll just see endless amount of images. And most of the images are products that technically somebody may have said you should never sell for example, bed sheet because they're so saturated. But what if you sell a bed sheet that's cute and you're focusing on Kawaii keywords? So that's why I do believe that focusing on a buyer avatar is extremely important today because I also know where they hang out. I can market to them in those Facebook groups through social media. On Amazon, because the search volume is there, I can use Amazon PPC. There's so many different ways that I can get to my ideal buyer here. Can we go to the next slide, please, Nicola? So understanding who my buyer avatar is helps me to then, even if it means that even if I'm selling a generic product, so when I say generic product, what I mean is a bed sheet when you say bed sheet, if I was to go to Megala and say, hey, I want to sell a bed sheet, she may be like, I don't know, right? Or I want to sell clothes hangers, or I want to sell a pillow, or I want to sell a chair or a cup, or whatever it may be. That may sound to a typical person like a saturated niche. But what if I want to sell a cute bed sheet and go after kawaii keywords, cute clothes hangers and go after kawaii keywords, etc.? So how did this all start? It started with me making a list of different things that I care about or mean something to me or whatever it is. I realized that I love cute things, right? If you know me, you know this about me. I absolutely love cute things. Research found that it was also someone who told me about the kawaii specifically. I joined a whole bunch of kawaii Facebook groups. I joined a whole bunch of kawaii, I followed a whole bunch of kawaii Instagram accounts, etc. If you go to Pinterest and Etsy, it's just mind-blowing how much search volume there is around this. And then I found, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't really need a lot of product development. It's taking something that exists, just changing the design of it and focusing on a very specific keyword. I'm not even going to target the keyword bed sheets. I would target specifically kawaii bed sheets, for example. All right, we're down to almost the last slide. So micro niching. Sometimes sellers only look at the obvious target market and forget that there may be a different type of buyer or market that you can target. And many times this will lower your PPC spend because you're not going after the big, huge keywords. It will give you higher conversion because usually there aren't that many competitors and you're the only option. It's easier to market your brand outside of Amazon with visual images, etc., as you know who your buyer avatar is and where they hang out. And it's easier to dominate when you're brand building because you're a shark in a small pond. And if we go to the next slide, this is where you can find me. And that's it.
Awesome. My God, that was just so many ideas and so many unique places to look for products. I mean, that is just amazing. A lot of people, you're right. I mean, they just get stuck at tools. Okay, you have to go to tools. But I think what you're saying is that you've got to find a starting point and then go down a rabbit hole, so to speak, and see what opportunities you find over there. That's absolutely amazing. Okay.
Only that my rabbit hole is exactly where the buyer avatars hang out. So it's like you're able to see exactly what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just running through the comments to see if there are any questions. So guys, what did you think about Sharon's presentation and the way that she finds products? And this is just a glimpse into your process. I know that you have a whole workshop and you do these whole like product research live workshops for 2-3 hours where you actually go through the entire process. So that's absolutely wonderful. So guys, let us know if you have any questions for Sharon. There are lots of comments over here, but I don't see any questions as such. So there's one question from Pia, and I think Andy has sort of addressed it, but Sharon, if you want to do this as well. I do not live in the United States. Am I able to sell my products on Amazon? So yes, Pia, you are able to sell your products on Amazon for sure. I mean, depending on the country that you're in, there are specific countries that allow you to set up an account and then you can get your payments into your own country's bank account. So just do a Google search of your specific country and then whether or not you can sell on Amazon. You'll know, yeah. Okay, so lots of good comments from Amazon FBA is really popular business. I would say you need to be careful not to get caught by a crazy course. So enter into a good Facebook group to understand the opportunity. This young lady is so knowledgeable. I'll need to find. Yes, absolutely. Pia, you've got to find her on YouTube and you've also got to join her Facebook group. That is super awesome. Sharon is a great lady with a good heart and amazing experience. Yes, and what I really like about your presentation and whenever you share content is that it's very specific and actionable and people can go do this. So this tip about Facebook groups, this is absolutely fantastic and people can actually go and start joining Facebook groups depending on what products they are interested in. So guys, let us know if you have any questions. I will also post Sharon's webcast on the Opportunity Explorer in the Telegram. Yeah, and Andy, that would be really good if you can do that. That'd be fantastic. You're always great value, but this 30 minutes is massive in gold content.
Thank you.
Okay, so Sharon, stick around with us because now we're going to give away some prizes. And guys, I'm going to tell you what the prizes are. So first of all, we're going to be giving away one 30-minute consultation with Sharon. So you can talk to her about whatever product research, any other issues that you might have. And then we're also going to be giving away 3 consultations with Tomer. So are you guys ready for your questions? Now you can have Google open if you want to get some help. That's totally fine. But remember that you have to be fast, and the person to get the right answer, the first person to get the answer right is going to be winning these prizes. So we're going to be asking you 4 questions. All right, let's go with question number 1. Complete Global Sources tagline. Dash exporters, find them, and meet them. What is Global Sources tagline? What types of exporters can you find on Global Sources and meet them? Remember, I told you this morning, Global Sources is all about O2O. So online and offline. There's a website that you can go to, globalsources.com, to find suppliers. And at the same time, you can also attend Global Sources trade shows in Hong Kong. So Global Sources is all about O2O. And that's why the tagline has find them. So you can find them on the website and meet them in person in Hong Kong at the trade shows. But what kind of exporters? So there's a slight delay, Sharon, so we'll have to wait a bit for people to start answering the question over here. Your internet is a bit patchy today. It's not very clear. I think you're muted. Okay, guys,
Sorry,
let us
Camilla,
know.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I had to answer a doctor.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, your internet is a bit patchy today, Sharon, right? Not very, or is it my internet? I don't know.
Honestly, everything on my side sucks today. I'm just going with the flow though and not letting it impact me. My computer's not working. I'm on my laptop. I hate my laptop. Internet, everything sucks today. But the presentation was good, so that's the most important thing.
Exactly. That's what really matters. The content really matters. So come on, guys. There's so many people watching. What is everyone doing? Go do a Google search for this. Go to the Global Sources website. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Go to the Global Sources website and find the answer to this question. On the top left-hand side, right below Global Sources logo, you can see the tagline and tell me what it is. Yay! Andy has done that. Reliable. Yes, that is the correct answer. Andy, congratulations. You won 30 minutes with Sharon. Okay, now let's go for the next one. So this is a free call with Tomer. So here you go. What does FOB stand for? FOB. What does it stand for? So if you're in sourcing, you've got to know this. This is a very important term. FOB. What does it stand for? Now a lot of people are giving the answer to the previous question, but it's a bit late. FOB. Now remember, this is for, yay, Catherine has got it right. Free on board. Yes, it's either free on board or freight on board. It can be both. Catherine, congratulations. You have won a 30-minute call with Tomer. And what I want you to do, Catherine, is send us an email at this email address, summitinfo@globalsources.com, and let us know that you have won, because if you're on Facebook, we can contact you, but if you're on YouTube, we won't be able to reach you. So send us an email over here, and then we will set you up with the prize. Okay, so lots of people are giving the correct answer. Free on board, freight on board. Yes, but Catherine was the fastest. Fastest fingers first. Okay, number 3. You guys ready for the third question? Now this has got to be interesting, and I think only people who actually sell on Amazon will be able to answer this. So this question is related to Amazon PPC. Now when you're doing Amazon PPC, do you want your ACOS to be high or low? What do you want your ACOS to do? Do you want it to go up or down, high or low? Is a high ACOS good or is a low ACOS good? So answer high or low. And let's see who's got the first, who's the first to answer. It's Patrick Ramin. Yes, low. You want your ACOS to be low because ACOS stands for advertising cost of sales. So of course you don't want that to be high. Patrick, congratulations. And as I mentioned previously, please send an email to summitinfo@globalsources.com so that we can set you up with Tomer. All right, let's keep going here. We've got the last question now. Okay, you guys ready? Here you go. What does 3PL stand for? Now, if you're into Amazon, if you're selling on Amazon, then you definitely know this. You have to know this because it's super difficult to manage logistics and delivery fulfillment to your customers without using a 3PL service. It's very difficult to do that. So let's see who's going to get this first. 3PL. And I think we've got a winner. So Patrick was the first to get it, but Patrick, you've already won, so I'm not going to give it to you. Let's go for the second person, which is Maz Abds. Maz Abds. Congratulations, Maz. That is the correct answer, third-party logistics. And if you could also please send an email to us at summitinfo@globalsource.com, we'll set you up for this prize. Okay, awesome. That was such an awesome session. So with that, we come to the end of session 2 of Global Sources Virtual Summit. And remember that you should register for the summit. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and register for the summit so that you'll get all of the slides that the presenters have presented over here. And you'll also be sent the replays. You can, of course, watch all of the replays on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. However, if you want all of the replays really well organized and indexed, then you should definitely register. So you can see the URL scrolling at the bottom of your screen, globalsource.com/summit. Go ahead and register over there. And Andy, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for being such a champion and supporting us throughout the session. It was absolutely awesome. And Sharon, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yep. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharon. Great presentation and lots of good information. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for hosting and thank you for having me here, Megla.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're going to see you at session 3 of Global Sources Virtual Summit, and that starts in about 10 hours from now. 10 hours. So if it's late at night for you, go get some rest, and I'm going to see you bright and early. And if you're in the US just waking up, we're going to see you in the evening. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.